Good morning. Welcome to Coriole Vineyards. My name's Peter Lloyd.
Hi there, my name's Duncan Lloyd.
We're looking at Fiano today. So we've just got our recently bottled 2021 Fiano back into the warehouse, which is looking fantastic. And we'll also talk to you about our reserve Fiano. So our Fiano journey is around 20 years old now. It started with our father tracking down Fiano, which was quite an obscure variety then, about 20 years ago in Italy, and a very ancient variety, but was only just undergoing a resurgence then. Thankfully, there was a couple of vines in the country in an obscure wine collection, and so we planted in the early 2000s with the first vintage in 2005. As I mentioned, it's a very ancient variety, history going back over 2,000 years, and traditionally grown in Campania and around Naples and Pompeii. The variety originally, the name comes from Vitis apiana, which is the vine of the bees, in that it attracts bees like no other variety. It's quite amazing and extraordinary to witness in spring when the vines are in flower. And look, now Fiano has not just captured our attention, but all of our neighbours, the whole region, and large parts of Australia. So it's certainly achieved great success in a short period of time. Three main reasons for that. One, it's very easy to pronounce, Fiano. It's a beautiful thing to say. People love to say it. The two other varieties from the region, or white varieties from the region, are Greco de Tufo and Falangina. They don't roll off the tongue in quite the same way. They're both great varieties, but slightly harder to get broad appeal. It's a great variety to grow. It's very drought tolerant. It's very easy to farm organically. Great open bunches, so there's very low disease pressure, and creates a really interesting and quite unique style of wine, which has really, for us, has been a couple of 16, 17 years of experimentation, and so that's a very important part of the process of working with a new variety, and we're really happy with where we're at now. As much as it's a journey to get there.
Yeah, I think as Peter mentioned, it's been a sort of exploration of this variety, and it's been pretty interesting to look at in the winery over the last sort of 15 years. And Fiano is naturally quite a highly aromatic variety, and probably in the early days that was sort of what we'd sort of focus on as we got to understand the variety. But it is quite thick-skinned, and what it naturally does well as a variety, and particularly in McLaren Vale, is give beautiful texture and mid-palate weight. So we've sort of, adopted that natural aspect of the variety and really tried to work with that. So you'll see in our 2021 Fiano, recently bottled, still a lot of bright, fresh aromatics, a lot of sort of cut pineapple, but then some, preserved lemon, some honey characters, some really interesting savoury notes, but in a very sort of fresh aromatic style. So we do allow a little bit of skin contact in the press with this wine with sunblocks, and it is usually about 20 to 25% barrel fermented, just to really accentuate that mid-palate weight. But importantly, we do have now 4 or 5 different vineyards that we can pick at separate times to really achieve the sort of broad spectrum of flavours that Fiano can deliver.
I guess the next progression of that is our Rubato Reserve Fiano. So that's feeling that we really want to show off the power and intensity that this variety can deliver. We're in a McLaren Vale. You wouldn't know it today, but it is quite a warm Mediterranean climate, and so we want to be able to make wines that showcase that. With Fiano, we can do that because of its high natural acidity. We can push the ripeness to a level where we get all of that full spectrum of flavour, flavour ripeness from the variety, but still maintain great freshness. So lots of other varieties that we've had in the past, you wouldn't be able to do that with in McLaren Vale. It's too warm, it's too Mediterranean, whereas Fiano allows us that. So the Rubato is really it's just a couple of barrels from our top vineyard that we really work to show off the power and richness and intensity of the variety. And it's certainly a step up in weight and power, and really demonstrates a full-powered white from McLaren Vale.
Yeah, it's really great to be able to have the confidence and have the market out there to push this, richer style white from McLaren Vale. And like Peter mentioned, that freshness and the acidity that's naturally there in the variety really allows us to do that. And we're really excited by this sort of style of white wine, and a great food wine, really a wine for the table, but definitely worth having a look at and seeing the great contrasting styles that Fiano can offer.
So I hope you get to try them, and let us know what you think. Hopefully it's positive. And look, thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Cheers.